This is the Sony PVM-1342q, and it is perhaps the perfect CRT for the 8 or 16-bit era enthusiast. As is tradition, I'm Matt D'Amico, and welcome to a RetroBits Holiday Quickie. Today's video is sponsored by the Network Magician. This makes a great stocking stuffer for the kids, and you know what? Don't buy this. That's really dangerous. So let me tell you a little bit about the history of this PVM. I purchased it on eBay for a great deal, and it came from a one-man video subtitling outfit, which is important, and we'll come back to that later. The problem is, the seller didn't package it correctly, and there wasn't any padding in the box. When I received it, there was a big hole in the side of the box and a big dent in the metal case of the monitor. When I plugged it in, it wouldn't even turn on. So with nothing to lose and no plan, I began tearing into the PVM to see if there was something obvious I could identify that could be easily fixed. Up till this point, replacing capacitors has been the biggest project I've ever undertaken on a CRT, so this would be new territory for me. It was immediately evident that the hit to the side had caused all kinds of damage, starting with a number of broken plastic tabs. The tube had broken free of the housing and was just slumping in the chassis. Worse, I discovered that the hit to the side had impacted the mainboard so hard that over a dozen traces were broken. The traces near the dent carry high voltage and were pretty easy to identify and fix with some heavy-duty jumper wires. With that done, the screen powered up and the neck of the tube would glow, but there was still no picture. I spent maybe 10 hours tearing it down, looking for something I missed, putting it all back together, testing, wash, rinse, repeat. Ready to throw in the towel, I gave the PVM some last-ditch percussive maintenance, and to my surprise an image flashed on the screen. After some experimentation, I found that by jamming a screwdriver under one side of the chassis, the display would stay on so long as the mainboard was twisted a bit. Now I was determined to figure out what other traces or solder joints were bad, so I spent maybe 20 more hours inspecting the small signal-carrying traces all over the board, eventually adding half a dozen more jumper wires. Once everything checked out, a little UV curing solder mask was used to cover up any of the copper I had exposed. After fixing all the broken plastic bits and reassembling for one last time, I'm beyond pleased to say this PVM has been saved from the scrap heap and looks absolutely brilliant. It's truly a Christmas miracle. Now, let's talk about what makes this particular model interesting. PVM is Sony's line of professional video monitors, which are designed and built for extreme use and are packed with high-end features. There are many models of PVMs to choose from, but few of them have this particular combination of features. Of course, this PVM features Sony's proprietary Trinitron aperture grille technology, which has a sharper, brighter image, better color reproduction with less moire, and less screen curvature than the more common shadow mask displays. With a full 600 lines of vertical resolution, this PVM also features a super fine dot pitch of just 0.25 millimeters. Compare that to the 0.42 millimeter dot pitch of my faithful Commodore 1084S, which has been the CRT benchmark for me since I was a teenager, and the difference is frankly shocking. But those features are common to many PVMs, so let's have a look around back. Now things start to make sense. Starting at the top, we have 2 composite and 1 S-video input, perfect for your 8-bit systems. Below that, we have analog RGB, which covers many 16-bit era machines. And last but not least, digital RGB with intensity, making this the perfect display for use with the Commodore 128, Tandy 1000, or other CGA-era PCs. Another useful feature that you may have spotted is that this PVM can handle PAL, NTSC, and CCAM sources, making it ideal for use with your European imports. In case you were curious, here's the difference between an NTSC and PAL C64. Right, I think that's enough talking. I've kept you all in suspense long enough, so let's take a look at what this thing can do. Okay, more talking. Here are a few things to look out for should you decide a 1342q is right for you. First off, this is an early model with a 1991 build date. Unlike later models, it doesn't have an on-screen display or service menu. All adjustments must be made via pots inside the chassis. Next, due to the nature of professional video displays, many of these were used in TV studios or other environments where they were on continually and may have tired phosphors or screen burn-in. It's important to be discriminative when shopping around for one. Last, and this is a small one, but there doesn't appear to be any audio jack for the analog RGB input. It's not that big a deal because the tiny single speaker isn't very satisfying anyway, and you'll likely be using a better sound setup. I hope you enjoyed this retro quickie. Have a safe and Merry Christmas and a happy holiday season. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time on Retro Bits.